What's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another deck profile. Today, I'm here with Frank Miller, who top 4 the Bandai Online Regional with King Piccolo. What's going on, Frank?
Hey, what's going on, Joey P?
Not much, dude. So this was this is like a 250-ish player tournament. Is that right?
Yeah, man. It was about 256, I think the cap was.
Very cool, man. And this is back-to-back top fours with King Piccolo, right?
Yeah. I topped the Card of Magical one on the Sunday that was before this one. So yeah.
Very nice. So the list changed a little bit. We'll talk about that, from then to now. But anyways, congrats again. Very cool stuff. Let's see this. Yeah, I mean, it's no joke that this leader in this deck is absolutely insane. Let's check out some of the main deck stuff that you played.
All right.
So of course we got all the starters here, and what's funny too is this is like before we joined MRG, right? It's like I saw the preliminary stuff of you guys playing King Piccolo, and I know for a bit like you guys weren't even playing the one drop King Piccolo with the time to fight and all that stuff. But I think at this point it's a really insane engine. And I mean, I don't think anything with this would really change. But how did the two King Piccolo one drops work out? Did you ever wish you had a third one just to like evolve over, or was two okay?
So oddly enough, in the Card of Magical event, I played three, and it wasn't bad. It's definitely a great card. It's like the best turn one play you can have. Especially if you're going first against Dark Broly. And that's like you don't want to get your piano warped because that's the first thing that they do. But other than that, like it's just something to help you get to your unison because this is one of those decks that you want to hit on curve as soon as possible, and it just helps me get there. So it was perfect at two, and I mainly cut it down to two just to make room for other cards that I can use because King Piccolo does have some bad matchups, and I had to like fix that for this event for the PPG event.
Right, yeah, and you have to do that kind of thing, right? Because it's best of one, so you kind of want to
Yeah.
fit some tech cards in, and we'll see some of those a little bit later. So 443 on the cymbal, drum, tambourine. I mean, that just makes perfect sense. I like the three on the tambourine a lot. I know a lot of people play like 444, but the tambourine has unique. Do you always play this ratio, or did you cut one of the tambourines just to fit more cards?
So no, I actually talked to Rios about it, and he convinced me to cut it to three, and he gave me a good reason. It's unique, and it's one of those things where you'll have it, but you already have one on board, so really doesn't do anything. But even so, there's a trick to play around that. Like you do your swing, it restands, and then you just combo it off, and then you play the other tambourine in life. But other than that, three was perfect. I wouldn't change anything about that.
Yeah, that's a really good combo that I don't think everyone knows about. Yeah, like you said, you can swing tambourine, it gets to the first 5K, then it goes to active mode, then you combo it off, play another one from your life, and then you play time to fight to put the new tambourine to 40.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely a really strong combo.
Oh, most definitely. It's powerful. It's powerful, man. Oof, they eat that.
Yep. And then we got 3 King Piccolo New Ruler, we got 2 King Piccolo Time to Fight, and 2 Attack of the Demon Clan. So a few things here. Like King Piccolo New Ruler is basically the Overwhelm of the deck, right? And I know Justin wasn't very big on Overwhelm. I know Marcel did like to play Overwhelm. I don't think you're playing an Overwhelm. Oh no, you are playing Overwhelm in this list. We'll see a little bit later actually. You're playing a big Overwhelm. But you're not playing any of the smaller Overwhelms. So besides playing that big Overwhelm that I think you're playing just to help some bad matchups, how do you
Yeah.
feel about like Seeker Identity or like Bardock fighting against Fates in this deck?
Well, I think those cards are actually just better in a probably more like in a best of three environment like that. But best of one, unfortunately, aggro reigns supreme and everything like that. And you don't fill up your drop as fast as you want to do that type of thing. Like especially if you're trying to kill as soon as possible. So I didn't feel the need to. And again, just because I want to make room for other stuff, I couldn't find room for it. Even though I'm at 52 cards, I just couldn't find room to put an overham in there. So I just kind of stuck with it and used my unison mainly to be my board clear if I ever needed it.
Fair enough. And yeah, I've actually noticed that about King Piccolo. Like, I noticed when you're playing like the long grindy games, like you actually do fill up a drop. Like in the mirror match, for example, like I've noticed the drop does fill up pretty well, and like you can play Secret ID, and that can be really good in the mirror. But yeah, against like aggro decks or decks that you need to win like really early, you don't really get to like put a ton of cards in the drop. So that definitely makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Attack of the Demon Clan. I keep seeing it bounce back from like 2 to 3 to 4, then back to 3, then back to 2. Um, this card is weird because like it's kind of clunky. It's an extra card. It costs an energy, but like you do so much free stuff in King Piccolo anyway. Do you feel like 2 is the right number, or is this another like a best of one spaced kind of thing?
So this is another card that I cut down from the event from Sunday. I cut it down to two because like you said, it's an extra card, so it doesn't give you combo power. It's really good when you are hitting on curve and like if you get to your like turn three and let's just say you play your piano turn one, you play your unison turn two. Then turn 3, you really don't have much going for you, so you can kind of extend your plays. Outside of that, it's never really a good time because the energy early game with this deck actually matters a lot what you do with it. You have to get value out of the card that you play with your energy. So it was really good after turn 3 for me. And the only time I would say that it would be good more than is if I was playing against like Team Gohan, which thank God that deck is not in best of one format.
Yeah, that's a pretty rough matchup for King Piccolo. I remember that from like the PPG Miami Invitational. But yeah, luckily you're able to dodge that. But yeah, I think Attack of the
Yep.
Demon Clan, it's got its good uses for sure, but it's not like a card you want to see all the time. And you
Hmm.
got like you said, you got to have that available energy to do something with it. So we've got 3 Piccolo Junior Scion. To me, like I feel like in theory this card should be a 4 of, but I think 3 is actually the right number because it is a 10k combo. You can only have one on the board, so I think some people might say, "Oh, you got to play 4 of that automatic," but I think 3 is actually a really good number. King Piccolo first step to revival. I'm curious how useful this card was for you. I think it's actually really good, but only in scenarios where like your awaken is getting stalled, right? So, or I guess not your awaken, but like your 4 life situation. People aren't putting you to 4 life, right? So, how often did that come up for you?
It actually came up a lot, and it like some decks like against, let's just say for example, I hate this deck, Blue Baby. It will sit there and it really doesn't do much until it's like making a very very big push. So your super combos are kind of dead early game, and you're going to be taking some swings that you necessarily don't want to take hits. And this deck is like it's very unique in a way that it's very defensive because you can stay at 6 life. There's been like a lot of times this weekend that I stayed at 6 life the entire game, and you go into your super combos live to help you push harder for game. So what I would do is like I will play my one drop, and that's cool, and then somehow I get Tambourine on board. Then I will play my time to fight, and then I'll add that to my hand, and then I'll combo, and it'll help me get to like, and then I'll put the 5k on the Tambourine, and so that'd be a 40k swing, and then I get the combo to get something else. So it just has utility to get me those cards if I want to. It helps me put extra pressure on. Plus, it helps me get closer to using my super combo to its full value.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I thought when this card was first revealed, I like this card's terrible. Like, why would you want to just like take a life? Like the leader replaces a life when it does this, but like this card doesn't replace a life. But it actually became relevant, which I think is kind of funny.
And plus that plus 5k that you can give onto your tambourine or drum, because a lot of people are not putting battle cards except Dark Broly that can like kill and play. So you can put that card on a drum, a cymbal, a tambourine, and then use your unison to wipe their board. So it has a lot of utility in the deck for me.
Yep. And then we've got 3 Yamcha Merciless Barrage, 1 Champa like card, Hidden Power Supreme Kai, and 2 Kaioken Goku Concentrated Destruction. So I know for a long time Yamcha was like a 4 of in the deck, and I think that's I talked to Marcel about it a little bit, and he was explaining to me like it's more so to deal with like Dark Power Black Mass Sand the most efficiently. But
Yep.
I understand cutting it to 3 because it doesn't always come up, and you got to fit cards just like Kaioken Goku in the deck. He helps out a lot, I'm assuming, with Invoker, which is actually a pretty tough matchup for the deck, right?
Yeah. I played one Invoker in the card of Magic event. It was shout out to Sublet, and that card he literally turned 4. Since he turn 4 or turn 5, he played the Vegeta, and I immediately got rid of it and then against a Mecha Freeze, I immediately got rid of the Bojack, so I can keep them, and they're tapped out at this point, so they have to take the life, which means I can apply more pressure since they're tapped out at that point. So Kaioken, and then sometimes I literally just hard summon it for 3. I did that against a cooler player that had like the he had 2 coolers, a Majin Buu, and a Hercule card more, and it just cleared it out. So, and plus it's a 15k swing, 05k. That card has a lot of utility in the deck, like a lot.
Yeah, so I think I would say this, but would you say Goku Concentrated Destruction probably a main deck mandatory card for best of 1 King Piccolo?
Yes, most definitely, because in the mirror match, it's very like you can't let the board go too wide. Against John Cole in the final round, he Kaioken me, and I could not recover. So I just like had like the only option I had was to Kaioken him back, and I got like 5 cards off the board for him. So yeah, it's mandatory if you're gonna play King Piccolo.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. All right, so for our negate slash counterplay lineup, we've got 3 Violent Rays. Definitely agree with it. You need it for Dark Broly. 2 Topo. I think 2 is a good number here. I feel like it sucks that it's best of 1. Like, I feel like if I was playing this deck, like I would kind of want 3rd Topo, but I totally understand like room is really tough. And then Omen of Awakening. I know you had some opinions about this card going into this profile, so feel free to drop your thoughts.
So I argued with Marcel for days about this card, and and I was still very skeptical about it until finally I talked to Mike, who's like him and Marcus are like the Blue Baby players of the team. And Blue Babies are actually a very tough matchup for King Piccolo, especially if they're able to stabilize and they start hitting their floodgate cards. What this card does, it kind of taps them out, and then it allows you to like get rid of their floodgate, so you don't have to worry. Yeah, it does still negate the attack, but you at least got rid of a card that can essentially turn into a problem for you later on, especially with the Overlord, the Servant Gohan card. That's a +1 for them. They get a swing, then they get the bottom deck it, then draw a card, and like it just prevents that from happening. It's really good against Mecha Frieza to prevent them from bringing out the chapels, their Bardock Apes. That's good against the mirror match because you want to keep the drums off the board. It does suck. I will say this: I don't like it if you don't have the unison board because tapping two is just not optimal.
Hmm.
Sometimes you're just forced to do that. But other than that, like if you can, if like I said, if you hit on curve and you see your pieces and you get your deck going, this card is amazing. It is just absolutely. It can blow out a game instantly for you.
Gotcha. Do you think like you would maybe main it in best of three, or just for the best of one?
Honestly, I this is one of the cards I would definitely main. I would consider main decking in best of three.
Cool. Yeah, it definitely seems like it has a lot of strong applications. And then for the big bombs, we do have the one Supreme Kai of Time SCR, and this is the overham I was talking about before. You're playing the one Fu Shrouded. So, was the Fu Shrouded like to help with a certain matchup, like maybe Invoker or Blue Baby or something like that?
This specifically was for Blue Baby and the mirror match. For Blue Baby, the deck, unfortunately, the game's like maybe I just played it wrong. I played it against the final round in the card Magica, and I just had once he got to like 4 life and he got all those cards and things, I couldn't push through, and there's nothing I could really do, and I just didn't want to have to deal with that again because there, on some cases, there are going to be games where you're just going to end up going that long. So I talked to Mike again, and he told me this card, once it gets dropped on the board, it's really hard for them to combat that. And me being already a King Piccolo player, I know that we can't combat that card effectively without wasting a majority of the cards on our board and in our hand to like survive that turn. So I mainly put it in for the long game. Oddly enough, the only time I ever used this card this weekend was against Cooler, and it literally won me the game. Like I summoned it. I didn't win that turn because he just had all the combo power in the world, but I got him down to the point where he was drawing, and that was the only card he had in his hand, and I just was able to win the next turn. So I would probably keep main decking for best of one just because there's our decks out there, and it helps against rogue matchups as well.
Hmm. Yeah, like any random like long control, like I don't know, maybe like Sin Shenron or like I think it's really good against Voker as well. So that definitely seems pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, because Evoker, if you aggro Invoker down fast enough, and then you can kind of force them to use their leaders' abilities to add back cards, then you slam it down an Evoker and just like surviving their little cat bow onslaught, then you're good to go, man. Like it's just you just slam down the board and like good luck.
Gotcha. Well, that's the whole main deck, Frank. I really appreciate you taking the time to show us the profile. Any shout outs you want to throw out there at the end?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to my team, MRG, you, Marcus, Marcel, Justin, Dalen. I mean, I can go on and on. Our team is like, yeah, they really inspire me. Give a shout out to the community for support. Honest to God, going into this, I didn't have the highest expectations, let alone to do it again. And I just thank my team and the community for the support and hopefully, I can't say nothing else about that, man. So that's all I really got to say about that.
Hey, man, great job. We'll see you next time you top.
All right, man. Appreciate it, Joe.